Bhagavaram Samma Sambuddho Bhagavato Yajna Bhagavata Dhammo Supatipanno Yasa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Dhammayam Bhagavatam Sadhaman Sasanam Ime Sakari Yatavaram Arupite Abhipujayama Sadhuno Bhante Bhagava Sujira Parini Bhutopi Pajima Janatano Gamba Manasa Ime Sakari Dugata Banaka Prabhude Patikanatu Amakandi Karata Hitaya Sukaya Aram Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhan Bhagavantan Abhivadi Smagato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami Ayam Buddhasa Bhagavato Bhagavatanamakarangaro Masi Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So, very good, very nice to see everyone again. So please now, everyone here, everyone online, sit up nicely, good straight back, body and mind alert, and be prepared to remain absolutely still for the next 50 minutes or so. And you close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you leave behind all that you've been doing and worrying about, thinking about, everything. You put it all down and you leave it. And you remind yourselves that you only ever have this moment now. So please try to keep your attention here and now, at least while we're together this evening. And we'll commence by bringing to mind the Buddha, reminding ourselves of our great teacher and inspiration, recollecting his perfect mind, a mind that was not just clear of all kind of corruption and defilement, but far distant, far away from anything of that kind. His was a mind, too, of infinite compassion. And he was described often as perfect in knowledge and conduct. A truly great and wonderful being. And when we're reminded of the Buddha, when we see a Buddha Rupa, we ought to be inspired to do what we can to cleanse our minds too of all greed, hatred, and delusion, and free ourselves utterly of all suffering. And remember to bring to this practice of yours a mind of loving kindness. It's a path which isn't always easy. And we encounter, of course, from time to time, areas of our being that we're not happy with. You must remember to be kind to yourself and caring of yourself. And don't be ashamed or shy or afraid about doing this. Be kind to yourself and care for yourself. And appreciate that you have such good qualities that have brought you now to this practice, to try and do something to improve your life, to improve your state of mind. But be accepting of things as they are. In future, they may be different. But right now, they are as they are. And of course, be kind and caring of others. Appreciate their good qualities and accept them too for who and what they are. And take a moment now to just remember the nature of your human existence. As we live this life, quite obviously, time is passing. And with it, we're, of course, aging. And we can't help that. Nor can we help becoming unwell sometimes, however hard we try to keep fit and eat the right things and so on. And then whatever you do, you're going to die. We are subject to aging, to sickness, and to death. This is our lot. So we must take the opportunities we have to cultivate our minds and our understanding and wisdom. So, sit up well, and quite deliberately now, gather and concentrate your mind. And direct your attention to your body, your physical presence, and be aware of the shape that your body makes, the space it occupies, and its solid nature. And notice your breathing. Become aware of that slight sensation, that almost indiscernible movement as you breathe in and breathe out. Now be quite clear about just where and how you perceive the breath, and determine to keep your attention just there, so that you now can watch, you can be mindful of each in-breath, each out-breath, just as they happen. Just keep your mind following each in-breath, each out-breath. Remember, if you are disturbed by constant interruptions, thoughts, feelings, sounds, whenever your concentration is interrupted, just attend, just as soon as you're aware of it, be mindful. Just observe. Just know what you're doing, what is happening to you, what you're experiencing. And let it go. And find the breath again and again. Do your best to keep your mind just there, quite a light touch, just there, following each in-breath, each out-breath. So please keep your very good, very still and silent posture. Keep your minds alert and concentrated. But for the next few minutes, focus on just listening. Make listening your practice. And that means just listening and nothing else, if you can manage it. So earlier today, I was looking at some comments that various scholarly types had made about a paper someone had written asserting that basically the Buddha had never existed, that there'd been no such person as the Buddha. Well, it's an extraordinary idea, really, a bit almost like those who believe that the person who we understand to have lived and grown up in Stratford could never have written those plays, that extraordinary body of work of plays and sonnets and poetry. It's almost inconceivable that what we know as Buddhism, these teachings, could have been kind of made up by a group of people. But then it's true. We have no photograph of the Buddha. We have nothing actually written down at the time. In all probability, they couldn't read and write at that time in India. So we have no direct evidence. But we do have this extraordinary body of teaching. Although one of those scholars had the cheek almost to say that what the Buddha taught, particularly the Four Noble Truths, was nothing much to it really. Pretty obvious. Well, it is, in a way, pretty obvious, and it is, in a way, pretty ordinary. But I know that prior to coming to Buddhism, I'd never thought about anything like the Four Noble Truths. Of course, I'd had my ups and downs and touches of unhappiness and frustration and so forth. But I never thought about suffering. I'd never thought about my responsibility for what I was doing and how I was behaving and reacting to things. Not really. I mean, up to a point, perhaps, but certainly not with the depth and profundity that we find in the teachings of the Buddha. Yes, the Buddha taught about ordinary, if you like, experience. We all suffer. We all do things. And what we do has its effect. And quite a lot of the time, we don't think much about it. We just do what we have to do as best we can. But there it is. We are all suffering. This really and truly is the basic problem of our existence. And all the troubles that we have and that we see around us come from mind and the minds of individuals. And the Buddha talked very clearly that we must be careful of our minds and guard our minds. Yes, we do want to make things better for ourselves and in the world about us, but we must be very careful about how we view these troubles and how we react to them. We must be careful of our minds because all too often the reaction to the things that go on, the injustices and so on, turns to anger. And we don't make things better. We're contributing to the source of the trouble when we do that. So we have to be careful. The Buddha said that it was very important that we understand Kamma, or karma, if the word is more familiar to you. But I prefer the Pali, Kamma. It has fewer of the associations that in our modern world karma has now, where it's almost used as a substitute for fate. Kamma is what we do. The Buddha went further and made it clear that Cetana is Kamma. Volition, the will to do something, the intention. That conditions and creates the result. And of course, we do things practically all the time. The Buddha went on to say that the cause of our Kamma is to be found with contact. Now, this leads us back to the formula of dependent origination. To a point in that formula where it brings us very much into the present. Because in this moment, right now, in our time, we are continually in contact with things. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, taste. Odors, our mind, thoughts, and so on, all in contact with things. We see things, hear things, smell things, touch things, taste things, think about them. This is our world. If you really step back and think about it, there's constant contact. Some people, of course, go deaf and they don't have so much auditory contact, or blind. I don't know what a blind person's world will really be like. But there it is. There is this constant contact. And when we contact, when there is contact with something, there is a reaction. We can't help it. We see something and we react. And our reaction is conditioned. Conditioned by what? By what we've done in the past, by the habits that we've built up, by our Kamma, our old Kamma. And then we go further. And we make some further Kamma. We do something else. Our immediate reaction to something might be to dislike it and to say something like that. And then we think again, and oh, I shouldn't have said that. And we apologize and we change tack a little bit. But it's still conditioning. Now we're encouraged to make an effort to change the course of our Kamma. We can't do anything about what we've done in the past, even the past of a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago even. What's done is done, but we can change the course. We can make that effort to do things differently. Those of you who are familiar with what are known as the 5 khandhas, the 5 aggregates that make up just what we are and who we are, form, this physical form, feelings, pleasant and unpleasant and somewhere in between. Perceptions, the ability to remember and recognize things. Then comes sankhara. And this is a difficult term, but it means the conditioned and conditioning. And it's here where Kamma is made. The contact, the reaction, and the further, perhaps more considered action that follows. And this is, of course, in a way, quite ordinary. This is happening with us all the time. But it has to be pointed out to us. And it has to be pointed out to us that we can change the flow, the direction of our Kamma. Kamma is action, but Kamma is also like the course of action, like the course of the river. The river keeps flowing in that course until something causes it to change course. And we, I think, I hope, have decided to change the course of our life, largely because of what we've heard the Buddha to teach. It's, in a way, quite simple, everyday, even mundane, but also utterly profound, life-changing, life-enhancing, life-saving. So do your best. Do your best. Understand how this happens, that we can't help being as we are, but we can change the way that we are. And please make that effort and care for and guard your mind and your life. This world we live in is a mass of imperfections and full of suffering. Be careful, don't add to it. Care for your mind. Change your mind. And that's enough from me for tonight. So we'll sit for just a moment or two longer. And in these closing moments, please focus your mind, focus your attention on loving kindness. Loving kindness for yourself as you breathe in. Loving kindness for others as you breathe out. May you and all beings be well and happy. May you and all beings be free from all suffering. May you and all beings realize for yourselves the secure peace of Nibbana. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Vivade Swagato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. So, thank you all very much for coming. Very nice to see you all. I hope you have a good weekend and we'll meet again soon. Good night.